I arrived early to pick up my wife, but she was already in another man's car. I was already there when her phone buzzed. The parking lot hummed with low-sodium lights, the kind that flatten faces and bleach color from the world. Midnight adjacent. That quiet hour where lies feel safer because witnesses are tired. Her name lit up my dashboard screen. I didn't answer. I watched instead. The black sedan idled near the curb, engine running, windows half down. A silhouette leaned across the center console, close enough to share breath, close enough to whisper something that made her laugh. That laugh. I hadn't heard it in months. I told myself I was early, thoughtful, a good husband who didn't want her waiting alone after girls' night. I told myself I'd surprise her with coffee from the place she loved, the one she said reminded her of college mornings and bad decisions. I told myself a lot of things. Then the passenger door opened. She slid in like she belonged there. No hesitation, no glance around, no guilt in her shoulders. Just routine, familiar, the choreography of something rehearsed. My phone vibrated again, a text this time. Outside, where are you? I watched the sedan pull away, red taillights dissolving into the dark like a closing wound. I didn't move. I didn't call. I let the coffee cool. In that moment, something old inside me went quiet, something naive, something that had believed the worst pain would be loud. It wasn't. It was precise, and it was just beginning. I drove home alone. The house greeted me with the soft tick of cooling walls, the hum of appliances doing their jobs without complaint, her shoes by the door, her coat on the chair, evidence of presence without accountability. I sat in the dark and replayed the scene with surgical calm. Another man's car, her laugh, the way she didn't look back. I didn't rage, I didn't cry, I didn't even feel betrayed yet. I felt informed. Shock came later, like a delayed chemical reaction. Denial tried to intervene, whispering its usual scripts. Maybe it was a ride, maybe she drank too much, maybe you misread it. I let those thoughts speak, then I dismissed them. Because I knew her patterns. The sudden passwords, the phone face down, the new gym schedule that never left sweat on her clothes, the way she started correcting my memory, telling me I was wrong about things I knew I was right about. Gaslighting is an art she practiced daily. I opened our shared laptop, didn't snoop yet, just stared at the lock screen, at the family photo she hadn't updated in years. A museum exhibit of something extinct. When she came home hours later, she smelled like someone else's cologne. Girls' night went late, she said. I nodded, kissed her cheek, tasted the lie. In bed, she turned away from me, already asleep, or pretending to be. I watched the slow rise and fall of her back and felt a strange clarity settle in. This wasn't a mistake, it was a double life. And I was done being the unknowing audience. I didn't confront her. That's what she expected. Emotion, accusation, a mess she could spin into a narrative where I was unstable, jealous, controlling. Instead, I became quiet, observant, strategic. I checked phone records first, not the messages. She'd deleted those, but the calls. Patterns don't lie. Same number, same times, always after work dinners or late yoga. I saved everything. Then the finances, a new credit card I didn't recognize, hotel charges just outside the city, always midweek, always the same room type. I booked the room once myself, just to see it. Neutral tones, expensive soap, mirrors positioned to forgive nothing. I imagined her there, rehearsing intimacy like a performance. I imagined him believing he was special. People always think they're the exception. I hired a private investigator under the guise of corporate due diligence, my company's perk. He was efficient, discreet, unemotional. He brought photos, her hand on his knee, his fingers threaded through her hair, the black sedan, a man I recognized, someone from her office, senior, married. I felt a flicker then, not pain, not jealousy, calculation. I waited, weeks, let the evidence stack, let her confidence grow sloppy. She started staying out longer, lying with less effort. She mistook my silence for ignorance. I scheduled a dinner, invited him, invited his wife, framed it as networking, celebration, community. She hesitated when she saw the guest list. "You okay?" I asked gently. She smiled too quickly. "Of course." I smiled back. Dinner was perfect. Candles, wine, polite laughter, the sound of cutlery masking tension only I could hear. He avoided my eyes. She overcompensated with charm. His wife talked about their kids, their plans, their future. I watched my wife flinch at that word. After dessert, I stood. "I have something to share," I said. I slid an envelope across the table, not to my wife, to his. She opened it slowly. Photos, receipts, phone records. Logs. Silence dropped like a blade. My wife's face drained of color. He reached for his wife's hand and found nothing but air. "This is a misunderstanding," my wife started. I raised a finger. She stopped. "I know," I said calmly. "That's why I waited." His wife stood, looked at him like a stranger, left without a word. He followed, panicked, begging. My wife turned to me, eyes wet now, real fear at last. "You planned this," she whispered. I nodded. We didn't fight. We sat at the table, the wreckage still warm. "I loved you," she said. I considered the sentence, then shook my head. "No," I said, "you used me." She cried, apologized, promised transparency, therapy, anything. I listened, patient. Then I slid my phone across the table, a signed separation agreement, asset division already filed, evidence attached, her access to accounts revoked. "You won't ruin me," she said. "I won't," I replied. "You already did that yourself." She reached for me. I stood. I walked to the door. She followed, begging now, loud, desperate. I paused, looked back once. "I arrived early," I said. "You were already gone." I left her there. The house is quiet now, cleaner, lighter. I sleep well, not because it doesn't hurt, but because it no longer owns me. Some nights I remember the parking lot, the laugh, the car pulling away. I don't feel anger, I feel gratitude. Truth doesn't announce itself, it waits for you to stop lying to yourself. I did, and when I walked away, I didn't lose a wife, I reclaimed myself.